Good morning, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Forecast. I am Dan Hodgman, and this is Friday, August 14th. I hope you guys all had a nice evening. I'm sorry about being a couple minutes late here. Did have some technical difficulties. The audio was acting funky on me, but I think we're up and running. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. Overnight retail sales this morning. Retail sales misses. We were expecting 2.3. We got 1.2. Some people are saying we were expecting 1.9. All over the place. And what we were expecting, we got 1.2. So a little bit of a miss. Not a big deal. But here's what's going to be interesting today. U.S. and China. Not the presidents, but some people from U.S. and some people from China are going to be sitting down today discussing phase one of that trade deal, going over things, seeing where we're at, seeing how things are going, and that could lead into a bigger conversation. So we have that going on. And oh, by the way, this stimulus deal sounds like it's not going to get done for weeks. It sounds like both parties are going to be more focused on the conventions and elections. I'll keep my mouth shut on that one. Anyhow, so that's kind of our major news here this morning. Before we get off into too much of a tangent, it is Friday. So no matter what's happening, make sure you're patient here today. Make sure you are taking your time. It's only a Friday. So whether you've had a great week or a rough week, don't let today make things worse, okay? So look for those small opportunities and don't be afraid to get out of the market as early as possible. So, all right, let's go ahead, pull up these charts. I do see some questions rolling in. I really want to say good morning to everyone. Good morning, Kevin, Charles, MSS Capital, LT. Good to see you. Sarah, caught 2 big fishes last night. Something's good to be playing with video games. Good morning, Tanya. I'm looking for anything short over 75. All right. MSS Capital and MSS, so I'm going to kind of agree with you. I've got some levels there in the S&Ps that we'll talk about. Nick, good morning. Did Lacey eat off the internet cable? No, Sarge did this time, right? Tanya, yes, it's me. Howdy, Dan, would you be willing to share why settlement price is so important? Absolutely. We'll touch on that at the end. Do you offer one-time coaching session or the monthly? I totally buy on here if there was a package. Okay, Tanya, I will touch base with you and see what we can help you out with. Jay, LT, Rob, good to see you. Vast West and Daniel. All right, really quick. So let's take a look at these markets. All right, that's what we're here for. And so I sit down probably 6:30 every morning, start going through my charts. Crude oil tends to be the first one I look at. It's just that top left one, both in this thing and my personal charts. So I'm looking at crude this morning. Settlement price last night, 42.24. We continue to kind of hit this wall up at that 42.60. I'm going to round it to 42.60. Continues to be that brick wall that we're hitting. This market just does not want to get above that. When we look a little bit closer, look at yesterday. I mean, it tried. It really made that attempt yesterday to trade up above it. And it just, as soon as we opened up, brick wall right at that 65, that 60. Sold the market off here yesterday. Now in the overnight session, we settled yesterday at 42.24. Now, if you guys recall yesterday, I said look for a low. If this market starts to break down, I'm really looking at 42.25. Again, not huge ranges like we've been seeing in the past, so things are tightening up, and we've got to be conscious of that. So what do we got going on? So I said look at 42.25. That's going to be the high. It's settlement price, and I promise I'll touch on that here at the end, why it's so important to me. But it is settlement price. Not only is it settlement, it's yesterday's point of control. There's a lot here that's going to force this market down anytime it comes up to it. Or once it gets beaten down enough, it may be a great spring point to take off up to that 42.60. All right, so those are a couple places to the upside I'm looking at. And on the downside, I really like 42.88. I've got going back, I've seen a lot of opportunity at that price. I really like that. Or excuse me, 41.88. I said 42. I meant 41.88. Excuse me. A lot of opportunity there. So if this market continues down, I'm looking for some opportunity right around that price point. Whether it's to the short side, it all depends on momentum, order flow, and how things go from there. Next, let's take a look at this S&P that just, another one, hitting that brick wall. And I said it yesterday. I said, look, our range, and I'm going to kind of stick with the same range we talked about yesterday. So right now, we are still trending in that upwards direction. We're making good moves to the upside. We're still seeing some decent volume. So it's working on it. It's having a hard time. It's hitting that wall. There's a lot of people, a lot that's going to, that are watching this right now. It's really easy to short as it comes up. Take that short with possibility of this stimulus package taking weeks now as opposed to getting it done right away. So there's a lot here, and I know a lot of traders are just kind of selling tips. So when we look a little bit closer, what are we seeing? First off, I will say it. Yesterday, we talked yesterday morning. I said, look, if we open up and we take off to the upside, ended up doing that. I said, I'm going to be looking to 33.80. All right, so that was still our high yesterday, and our low was right down here, 33.51. So both those prices have come into play here in this session pretty nicely. I mean, I'm off up by a point on the bottom and a half a point up top, but I'm going to maintain that range for me. I liked it yesterday. If I liked it yesterday, I love it today, right? So I'm going to be focusing on 33.51 to the low, 33.80 to the upside, and I'm pretty content with that. And our settlement price yesterday is 33.67 3/4. Below that, though, I think we may see some action right at that 33.64, right where we're trading now. I think there can be some opportunity here, a little bit of action at this price point. So I'm going to kind of be paying attention to this thing as we open up if we're right here looking for some direction and going with the flow. Next, let's look at the NASDAQ. Market is working towards those all-time highs, but again, just like S&Ps, it's still waiting for something. We're looking for more information to hit this marketplace to tell us either A, we can continue buying this thing, or B, doesn't look like money's going to be coming back into this economy for a little bit. I'm going to start selling off where I'm at. We like highs. It's always great to sell some highs, right? That's what people are thinking about right now. So there's a lot of people holding out. We're hanging on. We're not looking to make huge directions until we get some sort of catalyst to hit the marketplace. So we look a little bit closer here on the NASDAQ. Settlement price yesterday, 11,175 quarter, which it looks like I forgot to draw that on here. I do apologize. Let's get that up. Oops, I didn't click it. Oh, I did. All right, so we got settlement price on. Again, that is 11,175 and a quarter. We're going to just call it 175 quarter. All right, so what am I looking at here in the NASDAQ? First off, I liked our levels yesterday. I like them again today. Yesterday, we talked about low right down here at 111 or 11,150. Going to like that again. It worked for us yesterday. It was a great target right off of... I didn't get this high yesterday. I said, look, if it gets up there, maybe there's some opportunity. I was really looking more towards 215. But man, this thing really did accelerate yesterday, and that break hard. That break, once that started, it was hard to get in. But we're starting to see some consolidation more towards this 200. I like that 215 again that we talked about yesterday, which has kind of created a little bit of resistance in this overnight session. Overnight has clipped it a couple of times. We have gotten above it, but broke back down pretty quickly and shot pretty close to that low that we're talking right down at 150. So that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on here today. So I'm watching 215 to the high side. I'm going to watch that 150 to the low side with settlement price being right in the middle. I think it's to find us a nice little range. We'll see if this thing breaks out. If it breaks out, then we're adjusting. We're looking where that high is, and we're looking for volume and time traded below. Next, let's take a look at gold. All right, so after our big break, we're seeing gold try and work itself to the upside a little bit. Not the big moves that we saw over the last couple weeks. Doesn't compare to the elevator down, but we took the elevator down and we're taking the stairs back up. When we look a little bit closer here, the market is continuing to try. It's working up a little bit. Settlement price last night was $19.70 consolidated right now. Where are we looking at this thing within some sort of range? Well, for my high right now, it's this 1959. Where I'm watching it, I'm keeping an eye on this price. It was yesterday's point of control, not too far off value area high of yesterday. It has been a place that people are looking to short. All right, so I'm going to keep an eye on this 59 price. If 59 breaks it down, I'm coming down to 31. But on the flip side, there is room to the upside, right? We have settlement up here at 70. So, very happy watching up at 70. I'll continue to keep an eye on that price. If it gets through there, that's where we actually have quite a bit of room for this thing to go. So then we got to kind of do some readjustments. That's when we're looking at trend. We're looking for breakdowns in the trend so that we can get in and go with it. All right. Next, let's look at the currencies. So, the euro. We have multiple positive days going on right now. Big moves yesterday and today. We are already on our highs. Getting pretty close to that 118.42 that we talked about yesterday that I said keep an eye on that price. We're approaching it. We've touched it. And, of course, gotta love it when I sit down at 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm thinking, oh, I love looking up at that price. It's going to take a bit to get there, and as soon as we're sitting here, we're at price. So yesterday we said 118.42 to the high side. It actually blew through there. But again, I'm still watching that right now. I really do enjoy that. Next place I'm going to look from here. So I'm coming up to high volume node right here, 118.65. To the downside, we have settlement price down here at 118.06. And that's kind of my low. That's what I'm going to be paying attention to. Below that, I'm really not looking too much just yet. Obviously, we're looking at some swing lows in the overnight. We're trying to find that volume. Yesterday's regular trading hour low right here at, just call it 118 even. That's kind of that area I would start to look for some good opportunity. Next, let's take a look at the yen and get the heck on out of here. First off, let's start with our daily. So, yen, steady decline, but again, kind of falling right towards this consolidation we were talking about the other day. This morning, we're finding a little life. We're finding a little upside momentum. So when we look a little bit closer, what we have going on? First off, settlement price is down here at 93.56. This market is putting together on a 30-minute time frame a beautiful trend to the upside. All these little weaknesses are where we're looking for our opportunity. Oh, this is where we look and we buy and we take advantage of the trend. It's prime example. Now, with where we're at right now, of course, the price I was looking at up above, 93.85, we are trading $1 above that right now, but I'm okay with that. So I had 93.85, and I said, look, if we get up here, this is where I'm looking momentum. I'm looking for volume. Volume and momentum are still looking okay. So if this thing continues to go, we've kind of accepted into a value area we haven't been in since the 11th. So this market's accepting within that value area. I'm going to utilize these high volume nodes back here to pay attention to that and get an idea of what's going on. So from here, I'm looking a little bit higher. Maybe we clip that 9,400 mark and kind of go from there. To the downside, again, settlement price 93.56. And I have 93.50 on my levels here. And I'm okay with that. If this thing turns around and we decide to go check that low again, 93.50 is where I'm going to be looking. Right now, it's telling me it's not going down. It wants to go up, and then we just trade what this market's telling us. Alrighty, everybody. So, see some comments and questions coming in here. Let's see. Tanya, I will touch base with you, see what we can do to help you out about that one. Let's see. Oh, yes. Kevin wanted to know about settlement price. So settlement's like the first thing that was ever taught to me in trading. I used to run risk. I started running risk for my dad when I was like 12 years old, maybe younger than that. He wanted to teach me about risk, and from the option side, when you're carrying all your positions, P&L is based off of your settlement price, right? So your open positions, you're still running a P&L at the end of the day to get an idea of where you stand, even though you have open positions. So it's all based to settles. So it's all based off settles, and that's how you run P&L. So that was the first thing that was taught to me. It was like, here's where you look on the board, way up there. You look at that line, you look for ZB, right now ZBZ 0, you look for ZBZ 0, and then you'll have your settlement price right next to it. So that's what I would look for. I was a kid, and I knew where settlement price was on the board, and I knew every time I was running risk or P&L, I had to base it off of settlement price. As I got a little bit older, I started asking what the heck is settlement price, and my dad would kind of explain it to me, and he started to tell me anytime market moves towards or away from settlement price, that's when you're looking for some opportunity. And I asked him, I said, why? He goes, doesn't matter why. He goes, I have no idea why sometimes, but settlement is one of the most opportunistic levels to look for in trading. And I was raised as a levels trader. So I go into the markets, I find my levels, and I trade those levels. And the first level I write down every single day. Right now, if you just look at some of my sheets here, every circled price, that's settlement price, because to me, it's just the most important price. And I have found that settlement's going to do one of two things. It's going to be a magnet. One of three things. It's going to be a magnet, and that market's just going to sit there and circle it, right? So we're going to have that happen. We're going to have it be a catalyst. So as soon as that market gets to it, it's going to springboard it into the other direction. Or it's going to be a brick wall, and it's going to be that turn point where the market comes down, touches it, and takes right back off to where it was coming from. So I'm always looking for a couple different things to happen there. So that's why I like it. And it's worked for me over the last 15 years or so, and so I'll continue to use it. Level 2, Dan, is hedging allowed in the micros combine? Level 2, not sure what you mean by hedging. Are you just talking about buy one indice, sell the other? Then if that's the case, yes. But if you could give me a little more of an idea of what you're talking about. How do I get these volume bars on TOS? Sorry, I'm late to the party today. On TOS, to be honest, I don't know Thinkorswim's platform that well. I'm sure they do have some sort of volume profile in there. I'm just not sure where to add it. See. Level 2, I wasn't trading necessarily at 12. Every so often, they would teach me when I was a little kid. They would pick me up on some shoulders or something and teach me how to bid the market. And so, whatever the market was. I mean, my dad was a market maker for a long time. He was a local in the pits, and so he taught me how to make markets as a little kid. I didn't know what I was doing. All right, sounds good. Level 2, shoot me an email. Other than that, guys, and Burrell, good to see you. Yes, anything can happen. Guys, I am going to get on out of here. It's Friday again. Take your time today. Don't let Fridays make your week worse, whether you're doing really well. You don't want to give that up. If you've had a rough week, it's okay. You don't want to make things worse. So if you don't see that opportunity in the beginning, Don't feel like you have to sit here all day. You guys know me. I'm the first one to check out whenever that opportunity is there. And it's sunny and 85 here. I'm on the lake. So I'll be checking out. So I hope you guys all have a great day. Stay safe. Wash your hands. I look forward to seeing you guys in the market. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you Monday. Stay safe and trade well. Take care.